welcome to season 3 of the Teachers Lounge podcast. I'm here today with Jen and Shania and my wonderful Girl Scout sister, Kennedy.
Yay! We're so excited to be here with you guys today. So Jen, can you tell us a little bit about the $1 Million Teacher Project?
Absolutely. So we are a local nonprofit. We were founded in October of 2016. So we are relatively young, but we are spreading across the valley, and our mission is to elevate the teaching profession in one of 3 ways. We have a compensation pillar, support pillar, and recognition pillar. We know that teachers, especially here in the state of Arizona, unfortunately are undercompensated, underpaid, very often under-supported, and feel like they're on an island when it comes to teaching supplies and mentorship. As well as they very often go underappreciated and under-recognized. So $1 Million Teacher Project is all about making up for those 3 areas and rallying the community around education in Arizona.
I love that. That gives me like chills just hearing that.
That's so amazing, actually. It's a wonderful program. And can you tell us a little bit about your internship opportunities in this?
Absolutely. So we have a variety of different internships at $1 Million Teacher Project, including both in our office, which is located in the Biltmore area of Phoenix, as well as in classrooms. So I'll start with the classroom internships. So we have a support program called Classroom Support Team, which places volunteers or interns directly into the classrooms of our focus schools to help give teachers in those classrooms back a little bit of their time. Teachers don't have enough time in the day for their students, let alone themselves and their families. So hopefully by us putting together and training interns to help them in their classrooms, whether it is with grading papers, making parent phone calls, pulling aside students who may need a little bit of one-on-one attention or assistance, giving that teacher a little bit of their time back throughout the day. So that's our in-classroom, on-campus internship opportunities, especially for those who are considering possibly going the route of education or becoming a teacher, educator in some fashion. We also have internships, a variety from executive assistant internships in the office. We have special project internships. We have interns that work with all of the pillar coordinators to kind of see the back end of what it looks like to be in the business as well as the nonprofit world.
That's so cool.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh.
Very intense. I love that. Shania?
Yes.
I have a question for you. What is your internship title, and what do you do in your role with $1 Million Teacher Project to support their mission of elevating the teacher profession?
Well, I'm currently the Presidential Intern, which is something that I named myself after being here for a year.
Yes.
That's the privilege that you get. But what my main title really is compensation intern. I run 2 programs right now in our compensation pillar, and a lot of my work revolves around getting businesses involved in elevating teachers, whether that's through our teacher appreciation package, where businesses could give discounts to teachers either twice a year or throughout the entire year, or do our passive fundraising initiatives, which is one of our newest programs, where businesses can find different ways to fundraise for MDTP.
I bet you that gives a huge hand. I know a bunch of teachers every year. Tissues. There was even this one time last year in my math class, we literally used a toilet paper roll as our tissues because we ran out so quickly. And that's just, right? That's what that made me think of. I'm like, if only we had tissues, if only our kids would actually donate tissues.
We have many different types of businesses. We have everything from snake removal to cafes to restaurants. Like, we try to make the type of businesses that give discounts to teachers as diverse as possible.
Wait, snake removal? So they can just if
Yes.
there's a snake in their house, they can be like, hey.
Yes, literally. 1 free snake removal per year. Check out our website to learn more.
That'd be great. I need some snakes removed from my house.
We live in Arizona, so
They're
never
everywhere.
All right, Shania, how how did you learn about the $1 Million Teacher Project and all of their internship opportunities?
Well, it was through my older sister. Shout out to Talisha. She randomly found out about a summer internship program that GPOL, which stands for the Greater Phoenix Urban League, which is like a civil rights organization here in Arizona. I just went there and I just randomly signed up. They gave us a list of different organizations that we can go through with like a general description what you're going to be doing. And I saw $1 Million Teacher Project. It was out of 5 businesses and I just randomly checked it off a list because it had the skills that I wanted to gain. And on the first day, I think I met you. And I was doing a lot of different types of tasks. And one of the great things about $1 Million Teacher Project is that it really played to my strengths. You know, I didn't know at first that I could help run an entire program about giving discounts to teachers or help run the social media. It really just, they really just helped me find where I was supposed to be and just found where I naturally fit. And through there, throughout the year I've been here, I have gone from a special projects intern last summer to now being a presidential/compensation intern.
Wow.
Big achievements. I love that.
It must be like amazing to just be able to give back and also know that you're gaining something from all this experience.
Yes, this is like I pour into people, and through this organization, they pour into me.
I love that.
So wonderful.
That's,
oh my gosh.
Yes, that was very heart-touching.
Would you mind telling us about the $1 Million Teacher Project's compensation pillar and how you've impacted it?
So our compensation pillar is our newest pillar. It's like basically a toddler at this point. It was started because right now in Arizona, we place 48th in teacher pay. And sadly, we are not at the point yet where we can pay every single teacher in Arizona $1 million, but we can stretch their salary so it can feel like $1 million. So we have 3 programs. I'm just going to go over them really quickly. First is our teacher appreciation package, where 1 week in May and 1 week in November, businesses can give a discount to teachers, or they can choose to do it throughout the entire year. So our second program under the compensation pillar is our In Teachers We Trust Endowment Fund. We are currently building it to be $10 million, and it will be a way to give teachers scholarships for either going to school or to go on field trips with their students, for emergency funds. It's all about supporting teachers throughout their entire life. And our third program is our passive fundraising initiatives, where we give businesses 4 different ways to fundraise towards our In Teachers We Trust Endowment Fund.
That's so awesome. Oh, I love that so much. Teachers deserve so much more, and they do so much for us, truly.
So for both of you guys, how has the $1 Million Teacher Project's internship program prepared you for a future career, whether it's in teaching or something else?
I would say our internship program has helped me with a lot of skills. It has helped me with social media. I helped create a lot of collateral and posting it. It helped me with business outreach. It helps me with what I'm doing right now, which is public speaking. It gives you a lot of different opportunities. So even if you don't want to go into education, I'll still be prepared in basically almost any career that I want to go to with the skills I'm getting through here.
And having been a former teacher, my first experience in the classroom was my student teaching experience. So it would have been nice to have had a program and an internship opportunity like the classroom support team, where I could have had that opportunity to get a glimpse of what it's like, almost shadow an educator before stepping into a classroom as a student teacher or a certified teacher.
My parents always say they wish they had what like I have nowadays and how much easier life would have been, and that just makes me think of that. Like the programs we get nowadays, we're so lucky, especially as teenagers. Like we're both in high school, we're both about to have a career, and it's like knowing we have options and programs like the $1 Million Teacher Project, like that just, I'm just excited for my future knowing I have opportunities.
Absolutely. And our internships are open to high school students. They're especially the ones that place students on campuses. There are requirements. There are age requirements as well as fingerprint clearance card requirements because you are working with students and in and around students. However, in-office internships, we've partnered with Brophy and some other high schools in the Valley to offer high school students some of those internship opportunities.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That's so lovely, actually. I think a lot of people would really enjoy like doing an internship in high school because it gives you that experience that you can put on like your resume for a future application, and it looks really nice. And I do have another question. It's not on our question sheet, but how similar is interning with the $1 Million Teacher Project to student teaching? Because you mentioned, you had student taught, but you had wished you had a program like this. So what's the difference, and how would this have been like more beneficial to you?
That's a great question. So I would call it a precursor to student teaching. Depending on who your mentor teacher is in your student teaching experience, you might be literally thrown in to the students and be teaching day one. Classroom support team, you're going to be more so in the background. You are going to be have the opportunity to work with students, but you're also going to have the opportunity to first and foremost assist the teacher. So you're acting more as a teacher's aide, supporting the classroom, supporting the teacher, whereas in student teaching, you might be instructing curriculum starting day one.
Oh, wow, that's like being thrown to the sharks almost. That's I don't think I could handle that.
So classroom support team is a warm-up to that.
That's
We
really
used to have
nice.
student teachers like elementary school. Every year I had a student teacher.
I never had a student teacher in my classroom, actually. And I'm now a peer tutor in one of my dance classes at school, which is really exciting because I get to work with these, the kids in the class. And it's just really nice to be able to, like, in a perspective of that. Just because the dance world is a lot of, like, teaching and educating people, like, younger than you and with different skill sets. I think it's really good. But it would have been nice to have, like, another experience at that instead of just being like, hey, here you go. I think that'd be really beneficial for teachers.
Absolutely.
So I have a follow-up question. Well, kind of on a different track, actually.
Sure.
I really like this question because we get to know a little bit about you. Who is or was your favorite teacher and why? And how did they impact your life, like growing up and just like transitioning, I guess?
Absolutely. So my favorite teacher was a high school teacher. She was my English teacher for both my freshman as well as my senior year. So I got to experience her amazing instruction twice. It was honors English, and she was definitely the hardest teacher I had throughout my high school career. But she knew that she could expect great things from her students. So she had that bar, and she basically guaranteed that all of her students lived up to that bar. She would allow us to write and rewrite and draft and as many, versions of whatever our assignment was to get to that level of expectation that she had. And she was not only, a very motivational and inspirational teacher, but she was also very kind. Going back to my high school reunions, she was always there. She was very supportive of the campus. She was supportive of her students long after they graduated.
Do you think that's what got you into teaching, or did you know you wanted to be a teacher before that?
That's another great question. I definitely did not consider teaching when I was in high school, though I loved school. I always appreciated going to school. I loved to learn. I never saw myself as a teacher until I was basically mentored into it and fell into it from a very wonderful friend of mine who is also a teacher. And she knew that I had the background in science. She knew that I enjoyed working with people, and she's the one who kind of inspired me to take that route. So it was much later in life. However, my very positive high school experiences, my wonderful instructors throughout my high school years, definitely, I think back on them a lot as I was a high school educator.
High school teachers are very important, in my opinion. I believe they're one of the most influential people you'll ever meet in your life. You're with them just so much. Like, I see my math teacher every day for 2 hours. Like, she has to know me in and out by the end of the week. It's just crazy to me.
Absolutely.
High school teachers are so strong as well. Like they got to deal with a bunch of high schoolers in a day, all coming to them with their problems because
their high school attitude.
Their high school attitude. And I know certain teachers I'll go to, and I go to a small school anyways, so it's a little bit like I don't have to fight with like 800 other people to ask a teacher a question, which I really like personally. But I can just go to like my math teacher in the morning and I can just tell her like, I'm having trouble with this. Can you help me out? And she'll be able to help me out and explain it to me in a way that makes sense to me. And I think it's great when a teacher can like, especially adapt like that. Because as high schoolers, we all have different learning styles and we're all like growing up. Some of us are really strong-headed. It's difficult.
It's a lot of transition. It's
much.
Really hard.
Absolutely. But one thing that I really loved about teaching high school is that, you know, you're still young enough, you have that ounce of innocence and, you know, still live at home, may or may not drive, may or may not have a job. But you also have that frontal lobe, you know, it's growing and it's getting in place, and you have that ability to ask those really interesting questions and hold those more mature conversations. So there was always that delicate, you know, kind of balance. And I really enjoyed kind of walking that line between child and young adult and being that, hopefully, mentor for some of my students.
And Shania, who was your favorite teacher, why, and how did they influence you?
You know, I grew up here in Arizona, and despite being in a state where teachers are undercompensated, underrecognized, and undersupported, when you asked me that question, it was so hard because I had so many amazing teachers throughout my life. I consider myself to be super privileged. But I would say my favorite teacher, I forgot her name sadly, but it was my elementary school art teacher. She really just grew a love of art in me. She was kind of stern, but as I grew up and think about it now, it was definitely in like a loving way. And she definitely was one of those people where when I started school, I wasn't really good at art. Like I wasn't good at drawing anything, but she introduced me to different types of art. Like I remember in the 4th grade, she introduced me to fiber arts, and I still crochet to this day. And she really just showed me that all because you're not good at something yet, it doesn't mean you're always going to be bad. And I'm still like into art a lot today. So I just really am thankful for her to that.
It's amazing. Art is so like wonderful for us as people to be able to express ourselves. And crocheting, oh my gosh, I've tried. My mom's taught me. I can't, like that's really impressive to me personally. I can't hold the chain stitch to save my life.
I would say just keep trying and trying. You'll get it. That's what she taught me. All because you're not good at one form of art at first, you could try it again.
I can't even draw a stick figure, so props to you guys.
I'm a more performance artist, not a visual.
There is very little that Shania cannot do. She's, in fact, a blackjack dealer.
Whoa! Wait, that's really cool.
You know, I could do everything except driving.
I can't take a left-hand turn for my life.
Love left-hand turns. I was so bad at right turns when I started to learn how to drive. Was not good. I almost hit so many curbs.
Merging.
I hate merging. Oh my gosh, it's so scary.
So I just got my permit like 2 months ago. So I'm like learning how to drive. She can already drive. I'm in the process of it, and my parents are always like, drive straight. Don't hit this. Don't do this. You're turning wrong. You're doing this wrong. I'm like, oh my God. Everybody just stop.
That sounds about right. Oh my gosh. I remember one of the first times I went not in a parking lot. I was driving on like some street where it was like 30 miles an hour, so it was a little slower, and I was driving and I couldn't tell if I was in the lane, so I'd keep like looking over the side of the car trying to see the lane lines. And it was my mom was like, what are you doing? Like, you have rear view mirrors, babe. What? And to this day I still have to like check every now and then because I get a little bit worried.
All right, so I heard you talk about the teacher appreciation package. Could you elaborate on that by any chance and talk about how that's impacted teachers?
So our teacher appreciation package, or also known as TAP, starts in November during the 10th through 16th, and teachers can receive the discounts by looking at our Instagram or do our website to know what businesses they can go to. All you have to do if you are a certified pre-K to 12 teacher is just show your ID when purchasing and you will receive your discount. You can also go to our website and download our tap map, and you can see all the businesses right through Google Maps on your phone.
By the way, the creative side, the tap map, she invented.
That is so
That's
cool.
so cool.
Congratulations. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, thanks for telling us about stuff. This is really interesting, and I think it's such an important program. Everyone needs to know about this, truly.
Absolutely. Spread the word. $1 Million Teacher Project.
Oh yeah, I got you. All over the socials.
Thank you everybody so much for tapping in today on the Teachers Lounge podcast. We are so excited we have you, and we're so excited for the next episode. Thank you so much. Have a good day.